What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and oh no, not the Baby Yoda. The Baby Yoda, I'm told, just, news came across my desk. That's where it flies in from somewhere, and it lands here, and then I read it. The Baby Yoda, my friends, is problematic.
Kicking, stinky horseman smelling mother you me up over there. I'll stick you in a hole in the desert.
Very, very saddened to hear it's time to cancel Baby Yoda. Now, this report comes via the Post Millennial, covering an article about the CBC. If you're not familiar with the Baby Yoda, it has been beloved by the Star Wars fandom, a rare bright spot in the modern-day Star Wars universe. The Baby Yoda and the show The Mandalorian as a whole is being well received by the fandom. In fact, it's being celebrated. Very high review scores, very high satisfaction rates. Not a ton to complain about. Now, Disney Plus is free for Verizon users. So, if you have a Verizon phone, you don't have to give Disney any money. If you want to check out The Mandalorian, I think it's a fine show, especially if you like the Star Wars universe, the extended universe. It's got its moments for sure, but just about any show does. And this comes via the Post Millennial. The CBC wants to cancel Baby Yoda in a year of spectacularly horrible hot takes. The CBC, the most cringeworthy, nonsensical think piece yet, releases, quote, "The Phantom Menace, when Baby Yoda memes go bad." This isn't their original title. They originally went with, quote, "It's time to cancel the Baby Yoda." No, we're not kidding, and it's not satire. It's an actual article by an actual person that will make your eyes bleed. Veronica Shepard argues that Baby Yoda is problematic because, well, the memes that have sprung out featuring his likeness do not necessarily represent Disney's intentions for the character. She claims there are, quote, "immeasurable risks that companies are taking by handing over their brands to unknown creators." That's right, because the left can't meme, they want to make memeing illegal. Sounds like this is a case pleading with Disney to start striking down memes. Basically, she's calling for Disney to grab a hold of social mediaverse and shut down memes because the memes are both annoying to her personally and don't honor the integrity of the brand. Memes like this one, underage me looking at Bouncer. Very, good-hearted memes. The idea is that memes should be regulated and intellectual property use restrictions enforced. This, quote, "we must regulate the memes" kind of thinking is everywhere these days. The fact that in this case, it's the beloved ubiquitous Baby Yoda may actually help expose how silly and censorious this perspective is. We've seen this rhetorical gambit deployed in the realms of music, movies, video games, and of course politics. We can't control what's being said, therefore it must be stopped. But Shepard is not the only one demanding meme control, as if such a thing were even possible. During recent Canadian elections, Melanie Green wrote a similar article. Quote, "Why political memes are virtually unregulated and matter to the federal election." I actually want the left to learn to meme. I like to consume memes of all types. If the left could meme, that would just mean you have a significant increase in the meme supply. Therefore, you would hope that your quality of overall memetic consumption would increase. I want the best for all who enjoy memes, regardless of whatever their political leanings may be. So make no mistake about it, the Baby Yoda is an effective meme tool and should be embraced by all sides of the political spectrum. I want better for the meme market. In which she complained that viral political memes are not regulated by the government. Green cites a communications professor who created a, quote, "meme encyclopedia" and data researcher in an attempt to paint regular people sharing jokes and opinions in meme format in a bad light. As though it is even relevant whether these memes are viewed positively or negatively with regard to free speech considerations. Now, the original article remains up at the CBC, calling itself now "When Baby Yoda Memes Go Bad." And it goes on to say all sorts of hilarious things and embraces mad boomerdom. It's funny to me that this article would appear to expose itself in its bias. It knows that, for example, we look back at 2016, memetics were legitimate in the presidential candidate, the presidential election. They will be as important this year and every year going forward. Memes are something that, if we remember Elizabeth Warren's meme dream team, where she literally rolled out a task force to corporatize and deliver memes, and it was so hilariously rebuked, it was instantly abandoned. You cannot seize the memes of production. You simply show that you don't understand the meme economy, that you don't understand the way that image boards work. I don't really understand it, but I know enough to not want to control it. I know enough to know when a meme is funny or when one's played out, and I know better than to publicly demand censorship because essentially, as we can predict, they know they'll lose. They know that they aren't good at it. So when you're not good at something, then of course it becomes something you need to regulate. Article saying, these cracks have begun to show in Disney's marketing method. They open the floodgates and now they are at the mercy of Instagrammers everywhere, and they should hope that they can regain control soon. The danger extends beyond Instagram's already massive reach of more than 1 billion daily active users. Many brands have fallen victim to bandwagoning on platforms they aren't equipped to own. Conversations on. Improper attempts to appeal younger demographics through memes and slang have become so regular, it's even spawned its own community on it called Our Fellow Kids, where users publicly shame brands on social media managers' poor attempts to stay relevant, as they should. This is the free market of memetics, all right? When it's good, for example, the Wendy's account, when Wendy's does good, it is celebrated. When you get other brands coming in, like, I don't know, Burger King and their feminist chicken fries or something like that, it gets rebuked, as it should. Just this year, Sunny D was under fire for turning depression into a cultural brand joke, as one Twitter put it, and Chase Bank caught major backlash for seeming to turn a blind eye on poverty. Again, here we have Elizabeth Warren shaming Chase Bank for making a joke. Now, I don't think most companies should ever attempt to take part in memetics. The overwhelming majority of the time, it looks cringeworthy and bad. And it can backfire and have such a negative effect that it would have been better to not try at all. The ones that do it, embrace it, and are good at it, sure, but they're literally 1 in a million. Now beloved Baby Yoda is hitting the wrong nerve with some audience, coming off as a tacky spin-off and showing up in a slew in NSFW memes, attempting to go viral. This is like, is that like a weird think of the kids? Think of the kids. Oh, won't anybody think of the kids? Oh, they might see the Baby Yoda and a meme. Oh, think of the kids. I expect Instagram feeds will increasingly be laden with lazy, monotonous content from big brands. Apple, Hulu, HBO, and other streaming Goliaths are set to collectively spend dozens of billions on content development in 2020 alone, all of which will be aimed at similar audiences. I can only imagine the space becomes more crowded and will be inundated with quick, cookie-cutter content designed with memes in mind. But at what cost? Meme marketing relinquishes control of a brand, and given how it can alienate the very audience meant to reach it in the first place, I'd say it was rarely worth it. It's time to cancel the Baby Yoda memes. If you're offended by memes, you weren't the target demographic of them. The article on the Post Millennial continues. Once an image is released by brands, companies, or political organizations, or anyone else, it cannot be strictly controlled. No matter what trademark or copyright protections say, such is the case not only with Baby Yoda image meme, but as for his merch. As breakout favorite from the new merch anticipated The Mandalorian on Disney+, consumer wanted toys products featuring the character, but there weren't any readily available. Disney hadn't made any yet. Enter the industrious entrepreneurs on Etsy who turned the lovable Baby Yoda into dolls for fans to buy. Now, we know that Disney eventually did crack down on this. Try as people like Shepard might. You can't stop people from being creative and using cultural tools at their disposal. The common people will not stay in their lane, nor should they. Independent creators and makers do not need to wait for a corporate middleman or distributors to give them the go-ahead to let their imaginations, pixels, 3D printers, or crochet needles run wild. It's notable that one of the most in-demand Baby Yoda creators is in Russia, beyond Disney's reach, with a waiting list for her dolls over a year long. Creators can do all this before any copyright attorneys have their first lattes in the morning. In the end, memes at last are an issue of free speech. We must stand up for those who push the edges of cultural discourse with pranks, jokes, and yes, memes. Companies, as well as cultural critics, may crack down either on with legal means or simply through shaming consumers as well as creators. But the more people that are shut out, the more people will grab hold of the reins. It's exactly right. Excellent article on the Post Millennial. Recommend reading the entire thing. The idea that anyone would try to control memes is ridiculous. The idea that you would try to cancel a meme shows that you have literally no idea how the Streisand effect works. And I don't really think you have any excuse anymore. It's current year. We have probably 50 high-profile examples of the Streisand effect blowing up in people's faces. And I don't think trying to cancel the cute little Baby Yoda from The Mandalorian as a meme is going to be another one, but you just never know. Hopefully Disney knows better and keeps their grubby little hands out of this, because you need to let memes be memes. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.